Welcome to my cooking channel. Well, it's really a baking channel. So it's my first one. I'm very nervous. So we're gonna start off with that. And today we're gonna be making a chocolate cake from my family recipe book. I've never made it before. It might not turn out, so we'll see how it goes. Just to read off the ingredients for this recipe, we'll have a picture of it somewhere, but I think it's really cool because it's like a very old recipe and there's misspellings, and it doesn't say how long to bake the cake, so that's a fun thing that we'll figure out later. But it calls for 2 cups of cake flour, 2 teaspoons of soda, which I assume is baking soda, 1 cup of white sugar, 4 tablespoons of cocoa. You sift it to girther, and then you have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. It says to girther on the recipe card. 1 cup cold water and a cup of Miracle Whip, which is funny because it's a mayonnaise cake and Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise. So I'm actually going with mayonnaise. So that's it for the ingredients. We'll weigh everything out and we'll cook it. The oven needs to be at 350, which it already is at. And I didn't pull out a mixer for this because I didn't think it called for it. So I just have a sifter and a large bowl and some mixing utensils, and that's it. So we're gonna start this thing, I guess. We're gonna start with 2 cups of cake flour. I don't know if I have enough, so I have backup flour behind me. So I'm gonna weigh it out because I always weigh my dry ingredients out, just to make sure it's really accurate. So I need 224 grams of this flour. So we'll see what we got here. And I'm just dumping it right in the sifter so I don't waste a bowl. Let me zero out my scale and let's see how much flour we have. You know what? I have a little bit too much flour. I have 238 grams of flour here. So it's a little over. I'm going to take some out. Actually, yes, I think I'm too much over. So we'll take some out and we'll put it aside because we don't want to waste. 224. But the good news is I don't need backup flour. Alright. Or 226. I think that's fine. We'll set you aside here. And we need 2 teaspoons of soda. So we'll go with our baking soda here. I can't imagine that means anything else in this instance. So, you know, if that's not what she means, then I guess we won't have very good cake. Alright, so we got 2 teaspoons in there and 1 cup of white sugar. I got my sugar bin here. I have a very handy label. So I know 1 cup is 198 grams. So highly recommend doing that if you're going to be going by weight here. Zero out my scale, and I have 1 cup of sugar going in. Don't get too crazy, because if I go over at this point, there's really no going back. Almost there. Well, I did go a little bit over, but that's fine. And we'll do 4 tablespoons of cocoa. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So we're going to sift this to girther, since that's what the recipe said to do, specifically. And I'm just going to use my little spatula here to help move things along. And this will probably This will probably take a minute. Maybe I'll do a little of this action. Huh? Almost there. Okay, well there's some little things that caught my sifter here. So I guess it's good that I used it. So we'll just dump those. All right, so our sifting is complete. And now it calls for our wet ingredients, which is our vanilla, our water, and our mayonnaise. The mayonnaise is gonna substitute the egg and the fat or oil, since essentially that's what it's made out of. And I just know that from making other cakes, even though I'm terrible at making cakes. I do know that one thing. So I'll weigh this out too, I suppose. How many tablespoons are in 1 cup?
16.
So what's 16 times 15?
16 times 15 is 240.
240. I'll weigh up my mayo. 240. Perfect. All right. I just rinsed off my spatch. I don't want any cocoa powder for any future mayo projects. What did I say, 240?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm sure that when this recipe was originally written, they probably didn't use scales. I don't think anyone was too accurate back in the day. But since I have it, may as well use it. Oh, this is a lot of mayonnaise. We're gonna need it. It's fine. $241. Okay. Oh yeah, that bad boy in there. Oh, we're missing out on some good mayo ASMR. All right. Try to get most of that out. Terrific.
Good.
There's a corgi outside. Okay, I cleaned up my mayo mess. Got my mayo in here. And the last two things I need are my cold water, which is still cold, and my vanilla. This looks not very appetizing so far, but you know, we'll see what happens. And vanilla. Okay. I have to beat this for 2 minutes. There's no instructions on what to use to beat it. Probably a hand mixer, maybe a stand mixer, who knows. But I'm gonna kind of incorporate everything so it doesn't fly everywhere, and then I'll time it for 2 minutes, and I will just mix by hand. All right. Set a 2-minute mix timer.
Mix timer, 2 minutes, starting now.
A few moments later.
Alright, we're done. Alright, I've already prepared my 8x8 pan. One of my favorite parts about the recipe is that it doesn't tell you the size pan until the very last step. So you really got to read ahead with these whole recipes. All right, I'm going to dump this in. I have parchment and I have greased it. Hopefully that is enough. Sometimes I know you put flour in there to help it not stick, but I didn't, so hopefully it will come out of the pan when we're done here. Alright, get most of that in there. Looks pretty good. Alright, I get in trouble if I don't empty the bowl enough. So in the oven it goes. It doesn't say how long, it just says bake at 350 until done. So I had to ask Google, and Google told me 25 minutes is typically the time it takes to cook an 8x8 square cake. So we'll start with that, and hopefully we'll be done. I have a tendency to take cakes out before they're finished, so I'll just try and be more patient this time. Oh, put in the middle. And I don't know, it looks good. It looks very wobbly. It's very wobbly.
Okay. Well, we can wait. What do you think?
I don't know. Oh, you see, that's not done. We'll give it, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes. All right, let's check it again. A little less wobbly. It's still pretty wet on the inside, so I suppose it needs a little longer. I really hope it's done this time.
Well, it's been, what, 50 minutes?
I think the problem is it was too much batter for the pan, and it's taking forever to cook. So if I make this again, maybe I'll make it in 2 smaller pans. We'll see. Okay, see, I got a crumb on there. I think it's done. I'm gonna take it out. You think it's okay?
Yeah.
I got a crumb this time. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna let it cool completely, and then I'm gonna frost it. And I'm just gonna make a chocolate frosting, but you can put whatever you want on it. I'm gonna pull it the rest of the way on this rack here. I'm just loosening it with my, oopsies, with my offset spatula and taking it out. Hopefully, ooh, very fudgy. So this is what we got so far. So I'm gonna let it cool, and then I'm gonna frost it. Okay, so this is pretty much cooled completely. I'm gonna take it off of this parchment, which I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna go. Oh, okay, not too bad. And get it on the plate here. All right, put that to the side, and then we'll go ahead and frost it. The recipe itself didn't call for any specific frosting. I just made a really quick chocolate one with what I had on hand. So I'll get that frosted with just a little bit of frosting, and then we'll go ahead and taste it. Get that all on there. So there's our frosted cake. I'm gonna grab some sprinkles because I think that will be cute. We'll just do a little sprinkle on the edges here. Cute. All right, so let's taste this, and we'll give a little slice here. So there we are. It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty moist. And we'll cut a slice for the cameraman too. All right, yeah, it's like very moist. So this turned out honestly better than I thought it would. Get that right in the corner there. It's actually pretty good. It's very light. It's like very, very light. It's pretty moist. And one thing I probably would add, if I were to make this again, maybe a little bit of espresso powder to get more chocolatey flavor, and a pinch of salt. And I noticed that the recipe did not have any additional salt in it. But overall, it's pretty easy. I would probably make it again. It's good for a small snack cake, I would say. I mean, I would eat cake for a snack. And yeah, so I think this one would be like a win. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Got a thumbs up. All right, well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.